Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to be calling, they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Well, I'll be damned.
Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server.
Why?
They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
And welcome to the show. It is called The Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. And man, do we have them. Yes, we have Chris Bates, who is a character in in a category of its own, okay? Alpha, Mr. Information himself. Apollo, low down dirty dog. Little Frankie, kind of freaky, but we love her anyway. And you, yes, we didn't forget you. You are a part of the cast of characters as well. Thank you so much for being here today. I've been out on a couple of assignments, to say the least, and let me just say this. I'm maybe a couple of days away from the microphone puts me in a different state of mind. But I got to tell you today, I am in a confused state of mind in that I'm really proud of being an American, but at the same time, I'm confused about where America is right now. We have made great strides in improving our relations among ourselves as Americans, brown and black, white and black and brown and yellow and green and blue and red, all the different colors of the rainbow. But at the same time, we have made all of these great progressive moves. We've had a president for 8 straight years, a man of color. Now we've got back to the old school of a white man who is completely opposite of the most recent president and completely opposite than any other white president in my lifetime. So my hope, my dream is that our next president will be straight down the middle, not extreme left, not extreme right, and not that President Obama was extreme in any shape, form, or fashion. He was closer to the center than most presidents in my lifetime. And maybe to his fault. He was too much to the center, and a lot of people to the left or to the right of the center didn't quite understand that. But damn it, that's where the majority of the people in America live, in the middle. And we, the people who live in that center, need to expand that center and bring more people into the middle. That's more acceptance, willing to be forgiving and understanding, sharing, giving, loving, and doing the right thing. Because extreme left or extreme right is not good for this country. In no way, shape, form, or fashion. It's just crazy where we live right now because of our president. He was in Las Vegas yesterday, and he met with the the first responders and some of the victims. And that's all good and well. I mean, that's what, a president should do. Go in and survey the situation, talk to people, get his finger on the pulse. But I don't think that's going to really hit his nervous system to bring him to the center and make him human. I don't think he's capable of doing that. And why do I say that? It's because for the last 2.5, almost 3 years, that's where he hasn't been. Prior to him running for a political office, he was not there. He was not a patient, understanding. He was a self-serving jackass. And I think it's deep-rooted in his DNA, and I don't think we're going to see anything different. He has already exposed everything that we need to know about this guy. That, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think is going to change. So I hope and pray that you don't forget November 6, 2018. I remind you of this every day, is a midterm election. Typically, traditionally, you keep your fat ass at home. You don't go vote because, it's not a presidential election. But let me tell you something right now. We, the people, the voters of America, need to turn out in historical volume like never before. Let's make this the turnout of a presidential election. Why? Because it's an opportunity to change the balance of government. Right now, all three branches of government is controlled by one party. That, my friend, is not a good idea. There's nothing good about that because they can have their way any way they want as they are doing, except for the good things for the people like revising, not deleting, not repeal and replace, but modifying the Affordable Health Care Act. Why don't we fix that? Why? You've had 8, damn near 9 years, as time marches on, to fix the situation. What have you done? Nothing. Coming up with bad ideas. So as far as I'm concerned, we can delete the Republicans' ideas about health care because they can't do it. Why? Because they don't want to, and they've been bought and paid for by the special interest groups. Let's face the realities. That is it. Donald Trump is not presidential. He doesn't know how to do it, and he has surrounded himself with a bunch of idiots. Now him and Tillerson are fighting. I think Tillerson might have a week left in his life associated with this White House. This guy can't get along with anybody. Makes bad decisions in his hires. Then he can't get along with people. He can't manage them. Why? Because of his Twitter account. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. That's my opening show rant for the day. But I want you to think about what I just laid out. America should be more in the center, thinking about all the people and how we collectively can grow and move forward. Not the rich, not the poor. If you want to put a class on it, the middle class. People in the middle. Whether you're rich or poor, if you believe that fairness for everyone is the right thing, then that's how you should vote. You should vote for people who feel that way, who will go to Washington, will go to your state capital and bring about those kinds of changes. And you give them a shot. Give them one damn term, and if they don't do it, vote them out. That, my friend, is a term limit that you, the voter, controls. You don't have to wait around for them to sit there for 2 terms, 3 terms, and then they're automatically out. No. Why give them that much time? You know why? It's not a good idea because they become more corrupt. They say, what the hell? I'm going to be here for 2 terms or 3 terms or 4 terms or whatever if we had term limits. And during that time, they're going to pimp that job for themselves. Think about that. Give them one opportunity If they don't bring about something that brings about change to your state, your community, then get rid of them. Vote them out. Eventually, we will get some people in the House and the Senate, both on the federal and state level, that will work for you and me and Carol and everybody else in the world. That is what's on my mind. What's up, Carol? Stop choking that mic. Don't leave that mic alone. I have to fix it every day. What's happening?
Wouldn't it be nice if I came in and they didn't have to pick on me?
No, well, you make it easy.
I do. I make it really easy.
How you doing otherwise?
I'm doing fine. I was listening. I caught the end because I had a call on some stuff I needed for my business. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Did you see where he was talking about Bush, Clinton, and Obama? He said for 25 years, they've had a chance to get rid of this guy in Korea. That guy's only been in office, 8 years? That Asian guy?
Yeah, after his dad died.
Yeah, so it's obvious this man don't know what he's talking about. And he's causing more and more hate. They still don't want to call this white asshole. I shouldn't say white because this man that did this in Vegas, they still don't want to call him a terrorist.
Well,
they're trying to figure out did he receive propaganda? That isn't what it's about.
No,
it's
that's
the fact he massacred 58 people he killed. There's still people dying, possibly. Mm-hmm. And did you know that there were some propane tanks sitting there? Luckily, his bullet couldn't penetrate him because that's where he shot first.
Really?
Yeah, I seen an article on it, and the bullet didn't penetrate it. Otherwise, it would have been a worse massacre. Yeah. And just reading stories from people that when they were running, and just how people saved each other's. Yep. How one guy was saving people and got shot in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot.
One young black kid was saving people, got shot in the neck, and they don't even know if they can take that bullet out.
Yeah.
It just makes me sick. It makes me sick. Call the man what he is. He's a terrorist.
Well, you don't have to wait for the media or the president to call him that. You just did. And I agree with you 100%.
Well, I'm a little curious about his girlfriend, though.
Well, she's a crook. Come on, she's covering up. She's trying to save her ass.
You know, it's weird. He sent her away, and then he sent 130,000 or something to her.
100,000.
I think that's what it equaled out to.
Yeah.
Because our money's more valuable than theirs.
Right.
But it just leaves me wonder. She had to have seen something because I've seen articles where people said when he was with her, he was very mean to her.
Really?
So there has to be something that the guns, number one, didn't she see all those guns in the house?
I don't know how she couldn't. They lived together.
He had bomb making material because he didn't have a garden where he was growing stuff. And there was something he had. I hear a lot of static. Do you hear it?
No.
He had something he was growing that was used to make bomb, or something he had on the property. Mm-hmm. And they said it wouldn't have been used to grow something because he didn't have nothing he was growing. So he planned a bigger massacre. They said actually there was somewhere else he was going to hit before there. Yeah, he had rented a condo or something somewhere.
Yeah, it was another music festival.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he didn't do whatever.
And I didn't even realize the security guard got shot through the door.
Oh, yeah.
When he went up there.
Yep.
Got shot in the leg. And people that were stuck on that floor were there for hours and hours. And that had to be frightening.
Yeah, it was a terrible
You didn't know, was he going to come through your door and shoot through your door to get in? You don't know
what's happening at that point.
So they had to be frightened to death.
Absolutely. Can you imagine being in the room next door and you hear this gunfire going off for, 11 minutes? You got to be going, what the hell is that?
And it had to be horrible for people that lost their wives or their husbands.
Oh, yeah.
I felt bad for some man, I think from Orange County. Mm-hmm. His daughter was there, and the boyfriend was going to propose to her. I don't think he was there with her. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. But she died. And to see that man crying on TV, it was, his only daughter, and he was very close to her.
Yeah, that's
so to
terrible.
Me, it isn't about being white or whether they were Republicans. It's about an asshole that they don't want to call a terrorist. They never want to call these white people terrorists. Yeah. If you do a study,
He's
in
crazy.
our country,
He's just crazy. He's a
you'll
lunatic.
see most of them are white that have done this. So
Yeah.
let's call them what they should be called.
They're terrorists. They're urban terrorists. They're terrorists, American terrorizing Americans. They're
Well,
terrorists.
this has been going on.
Period. End.
There's horrible stuff in Syria. They said worse probably than ever. But see, our news, because of what we're going through,
Yeah, it doesn't get
everybody's
covered.
kind of ignored it. And then there's another, isn't there another storm starting up?
I don't know. That's a
I
good
think
question.
I seen it last night that possibly will hit the Gulf, but they don't know if it'll be a big one.
Yeah, I'll look that up. I have not been following the Weather Channel in the past week or so. But yeah, we'll look into that. Let's bring Chris in. Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
Good morning, Boone Shakalaka. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Carol. How you doing this morning?
You know,
we're
my
hanging in
friends
there.
couldn't reach you yesterday. There was another show they heard from Lee's.
Well, they were probably listening to the Power of Voices feed, not on Facebook.
Oh, okay, because you had put a show from another day up. So they couldn't find you, Chris. I guess they didn't know how because they don't, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're listening to the audio feed only, they would have heard a replay. But yeah, that's probably what that was. So what's happening, man?
You know, you said earlier about the other concert event that Stephen Patrick had a have an assassination
Yeah.
situation. It was here in Chicago. Here in Chicago, every August we have what we call Lollapalooza. It's a summer concert that we have by the lakefront.
Uh-huh.
He booked a hotel room at the Blackstone Hotel, and he booked it August 1st, and then him and his girlfriend never showed up. But that was the hotel, and that was the place in Chicago.
Was that
he
called
also
the some kind of, what was it? What's in Lollapalooza? There's another one that he
yeah,
went
Lollapalooza.
They have those all over.
to. Yeah, but there was another one that he booked a condo, and it was some kind of music fest. What was it called?
Well, Vegas
Beautiful
does a
Music
lot of
Fest or
stuff now
something.
because
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
some of the concerts that were here, they won't let them do any longer because of the drug overdoses.
No, that should be all of them. Damn.
But yeah, well, you see the pattern that Haddock had. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
he was going to go to these concerts. Where thousands of people are there, and then do the awful thing, which is kill. And you're absolutely right. I said like yesterday, I've been saying this since day one. Yes, he was a terrorist, and you cannot escape what it is. And now they're saying that, and when I was saying this before, when you look at the timeline of the whole thing, he had to have had help in some way, shape, or form with this rampage.
Yeah, there's some
They
reports
over,
coming out,
they-
stating that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about
You sure did everything by himself, but that's about 50 pounds of explosives.
that. But listen, you got to understand. See, everybody thinks that he's got to lift that stuff up and move it around. That's what you have. The bell caps. What do you call them?
Bell hops.
Porters. Yeah.
Right.
They pull it out of your car,
Yeah,
stick
you
it on
do
a
it.
wagon, and push it up to your room. So
Give him a tip afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. He was there
even
for
had
3 or 4
cameras-
days.
He even had cameras set up in the
Yeah.
hallways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did he do all that?
Well, you run a cable outside the door
No,
and
I
you
mean,
stick it on
why
the
weren't they
thing.
aware of any of this?
Well, that just shows you how much the people in these hotels are sleeping, what's going on. Now, you know what? The people say, well, how do you get all those bags of guns and ammunition in there? It's not unusual in Las Vegas for people to have 10, 15 bags going to their rooms because that is a big convention center, okay? And I've been there, the CES show, the National Broadcasters Association, where people have rooms, suites, where they set up equipment to display and all that. So they wouldn't even think that was a big
Plus,
deal.
he was a high roller, so
Yeah,
his
yeah.
hotel rooms were free, everything
yeah,
for
I'm sure
him.
they were comping him.
Yeah,
left
because
and
they
right.
used to do that with my ex. Everything
course.
was free.
Yeah.
And apparently,
plus, you know,
wasn't
the
that Steve
equipment-
Wynn's hotel?
The Winds?
Was that one of his hotels?
I'm not sure. Who owns that? I don't know.
So he could probably walk in and out because he was a VIP.
I'm sure.
Oh,
You
he
know?
spent thousands on gambling.
Yeah.
And plus, now that we've seen the equipment, guns, you could break those in half and assemble them. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
So you'll break it down and then put it in your bags and keep on stepping.
Absolutely. those suitcases or whatever he used to bring those up, nobody would suspect. And I was watching a TV broadcast, and they were interviewing the mayor of Las Vegas. He said, no, the hotels don't scan bags for guns and stuff like that. It's only done in airports and some train stations maybe. But it's just not a practice that they now, will that change? Will your bags have to go through some kind of scanner before you can bring it in? Might not be a bad idea. It's going to be an inconvenience, especially in a place like Las Vegas where they have these huge conventions. And suites turn into showrooms where people are invited up to these suites to see their hardware, software, or whatever they're trying to sell for demonstration purposes. So it could change the order and the way business is done in not only Las Vegas, but maybe in Chicago at the McCormick Place, and it could change things. Now, that being said, they may change that, but will they change the gun laws? My bet is no, because every one of them, and I'll call out the Democrats as well, are chicken shit. They've made attempts.
Right.
Now, what's going to happen next? There are legislators talking about, modification of the gun laws, and this modification to a semi-automatic weapon can be converted very easily for $150 into a fully automatic gun. I don't even like the idea of a semi-automatic. I don't like that either. What do you need to have? Well, I'm a hunter. What are you going to do? Go out there and shoot a wild boar 25 times? Really? No, so you can't say, I'm going to use it for hunting purposes. That's bullshit.
I don't think he even hunted.
No. Nobody. If you are a hunter and you use a semi-automatic weapon to hunt a deer or wild boar, rabbits, squirrels, ducks, whatever, you're just a badass shot. You should not have a gun in your hand.
Right.
Come on.
I mean, he's going out there to the forest, shooting, willy-nilly, just see whatever happens. That's not shooting. And its own right, when it comes to shooting, when it comes to traditional shooting, automatic, it is a skill set.
Yeah.
You must have a certain eye, you have a certain acumen and time to train for that.
That's right.
I'm not for all this hunting, but it is something that goes along with it. You must be professionally trained,
right,
for that. Just like you're professionally trained to have automatic weaponry. My point is, I mean, if we're gonna do this thing, the thing about it is, I don't like people who just fall into the whole NRA or fall into the thing about having a weapon and not want to be responsible for carrying said weapons. That's why I can get an eye out.
We're losing
you. It's not
you.
about responsibility to some degree.
We're losing you. Let me do a refresh on this end. I've made some modifications here because even when you first came in, Chris, I'm going to restart here, so just hang in there. It was choppy and breaking up. That drives me nuts because Chris has given us some very valuable and good information, and we want to be able to hear it clearly. Okay, are you there now?
Yeah, so let's try this sound out.
No, it's still cracked up, man. What the hell is this?
Man.
And this is the good computer that we brought in to fix that issue. I'm just.
All right, well, I'll refresh on my end.
You know what? You have Skype. Hello? Oh, he's refreshing. Okay. But we've got to take the bull by the horn. Okay, we've got to come to the realization that the ownership of certain types of guns in the wrong hands is not a good thing. Okay, now I was listening to Jesse T, who does a 5 o'clock Pacific time show here yesterday. He says, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
So stupid.
It is.
Who shoots the gun?
Exactly. So there are certain people that have possession of certain types of guns that shouldn't have possession of those guns at all, as far as I'm concerned. Now, this guy, Paddock, had been buying guns for 11 months. He bought 40-some guns, or whatever the number is. There's so many damn numbers flying around, I can't keep up with it. But here's the bottom line. And he bought them from 5 or 6 different states. So he was trying to fly under the radar. He didn't want to get caught because this was premeditated, well planned, well in advance. That's why I can't believe the girlfriend knew nothing about it. I think he also told her, I'm going to send you away because I'm about to do some shit here that you don't need to be involved with. Maybe he didn't tell her directly. You know, and if she was naive to think that this was his way of trying to break up with her, what was your relationship like? Who are your friends? Who are his friends? They're looking at all of that. They're looking at phone records, email, snail mail, friends, relatives. They're digging deep because they got to figure out what the hell is really going on. And they will. It may not be the outcome that we expect or hope for, but we're going to get some kind of conclusion, if you will, to this situation. I believe that. That I believe. Because with the intelligence and the whole ability to do the kind of investigating, they will eventually connect the dots. And hopefully we can come up with some answers and, more importantly, solutions for the future to prevent another disaster like this. They're calling this one of the worst murders in American history. And I don't ever want to hear that again in my life. I'm not going to be here forever, but in my lifetime, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it in my children's lifetime or my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren that I don't have yet. But that's something that we should not have to live with. We should not have to be concerned that when we go out for entertainment, here in L.A., if you go to the Hollywood Bowl tonight and see Chance the Rapper, you shouldn't have to be concerned that some asshole has no regard for his own life or yours. You should be able to go there under the moonlight and have a good night of good entertainment. That's the world we should be able to live in. But when people like this guy wants to take away your freedom, take away your life, because he has the ability to go out and buy all kinds of guns, ammunition, and explosives, we don't know what his end game really was. He had explosives in his car. He had more ammunition and guns. Did he think he was going to be able to get out of there? Really? This thing was planned out for some time, and I wouldn't say it's well planned, but if he thought that he was going to be able to get out of that hotel and get away, he was tripping. He must have been on some narcotics on top of being crazy. Now, when I say this guy is crazy, he was crazy. He had some mental issues, ain't no doubt about it. But I'm not going to allow that to be an excuse. I'm not going to say, well, he has a right to buy guns and, he can do whatever he wants. No, no, and no. I say it all the time. That the rules for buying firearms ought to be tougher. I don't want to take your right away in owning a gun, but if you're not mentally stable, if you have an objective to hurt, maim, and kill people, no, you should not have a gun in your hands. You should not be able to own a gun. You shouldn't be near a gun. Plain and simple. Why can't everybody get their arms mindset around that, which makes all the common sense in the world? How can you possibly come up with an argument against that? And I know some people that I'm concerned about that are gun enthusiasts, but they talk a little crazy. They talk a little crazy. I'm going, really? Damn, am I going to see this clown on CNN one day? What do you do about that? If you got a dysfunctional family member, a neighbor, a friend, an associate, and they're always talking about what they're going to do with their guns and and I've got this kind of, firearm and I got this and I've got that and, I'm prepared. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to me. See, to me, that's kind of scary. Kind of scary, folks. Because if you're that damn paranoid, maybe you shouldn't be around no guns. What do you think, Carol? You know people like that?
No.
You don't?
No.
I know 4 or 5 people like that. They're just always talking about their guns and how many they got.
Or they hide them and lock them up?
Well, most of them do. But yeah, it just seems that they're obsessed. Obsessed with that.
And the joke is they probably don't even know how to really shoot them.
Well, that's even scarier. Chris, that's Alfo in there. Hey, Alfo.
Lee, Carol, how y'all doing today?
All right.
Fine.
Lee, I'm hearing you all talk about the guns, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But how can anyone with common sense think that these are good ideas to have guns and the availability? And I'll tell you how. Because their message is that you're going to take their guns. Their message is couched in a lie. Their message is couched in a lie. And if it's couched in a lie, you should be willing to do any and everything you need to do to defeat them. That is just like so much of the Republican ideology is couched in a lie. And this bit about, why don't you just try to get along with the NRA? Why don't we have some solution? No. You are lying about the situation.
Exactly. Why doesn't the NRA get tougher on their membership and stop promoting on behalf of the gun manufacturers? Why? Because they're bought and paid for as well.
Right. The gun manufacturers are paying the bill. It's not about the membership of the NRA. And they have successfully messaged that.
Yeah.
And told and reaped that fear that you're going to take their guns.
Well, you know what?
First thing out of everybody's mouth.
That's right. They did that when Obama came into office. They said he's gonna take your guns away, and more guns were sold in the 8-year period under his administration than any time in history. So that was a lie. It pumped people up. It made people scary, crazy. And it might have impacted on this fool that pulled this act off in Vegas.
So why?
Well, they said he had been put on antidepressants and different things recently.
Well, there you go. He obviously wasn't taking his meds.
And then he lost some case where he fell in a casino or somewhere, and he lost that case. So he probably had a lot of anger, too.
Yeah, he's got issues.
Well.
Had issues.
Let's face it. How about this? How about, like I said the other day, what about a silencer? If he had a silencer, he possibly could have gotten away with this.
He would have been up there for another 10 minutes killing people.
Okay, but how much sense does that make? A silencer for these types of weapons. And then you have a Donald Trump son talking about it's a health issue because it won't distort their hearing. You got to be kidding me. People don't realize when you have a legitimate debate going and someone is willing to couch their position in a lie, you do everything you can to go against them. Mm-hmm. There is no solution. There is no compromise. There is nothing but you are lying, get the hell out of here, period.
Can I say something? You know what bothers me?
No, Carol.
And you might not all agree with me. They call this the worst massacre in history in the United States. It really isn't. Because of what they did to blacks, what they did to Native Americans. Those are the worst massacres.
Yeah, you're right.
They seem to forget that,
Exactly.
They killed thousands and thousands of blacks and Indians. They experimented and reading. I've been reading lately about the Holocaust for some reason, and just reading all the history, it just makes you want to cry. So, no, this wasn't the worst massacre in history. They better read back a little and pay attention.
Well, it's the worst one that affected that number of white people.
Yeah.
Right, right. And see, if their entire argument is couched in a lie, it is your duty to resist that lie.
Yeah, because
by any means necessary.
When they hit that church, that young kid, they never went out and interviewed everybody's family to see how they felt. When they hit the nightclub with all the gay people, they didn't go out but every day they're bringing a new person on who they saved. And I'm not saying that, well, they do treat white people better. It is a privilege, but these people that are hurt don't even follow. They're very angry about all of this, but treat everybody the same.
Well, what's it going to take, folks? Let's dig a little deeper. I mean, we all believe that, well, not all, most critical thinkers, most common sense thinkers believe that our gun laws are not tough enough. Okay? That's a given. There have been many attempts by Democrats and some Republicans to modify how people can, purchase guns and who should be able to purchase guns. The alt-right, knuckle-dragging, gun-toting knuckleheads will say everyone should be able to buy a gun regardless. I disagree with that. But more importantly, okay, listen, I don't have a criminal background, okay? I could probably go out and buy a gun. I don't want to own a gun. I don't want it in my environment. I'm not worried about me killing anyone because I love living. I want you to live.
Well, you might have if they attack you.
Well, then you know what? You're right. I mean, that is a strong possibility. But I'm going to rely on the people who are trained, the police officers, to do their job. If I call 911 and say, hey, there's somebody out in my yard with a long gun, y'all need to come get it. And I mean right
they're
now.
Coming,
By the time they
shoot
get there, you're dead already.
Well, I don't care what color they are. If somebody's standing in my yard with a pistol or a rifle, come get them.
The guy with the gun could be white.
Well, they could be.
Do you know what, though? Most countries do not allow guns. When I was in the Middle East, you do not see people walking around with guns because it's not allowed. When they buy those guns, the terrorists, they're probably getting them from some Americans or somebody, but they cannot. In London, they do not have guns. Now you'll see stabbings.
Guns, right?
I don't know if they changed that some. I have to research that, but I know they don't have guns. Most countries, they don't. And that's an issue. It needs to stop here. If they did a study, they would see we have more killings than any other country because of guns. In Chicago alone, I'll bet you there's 59 deaths a month.
No,
do they call that a massacre? No, they don't. It's not because it's not white.
But you can walk across the border to Indiana. You can walk out of the county of Cook, and you can buy a gun and walk right back in.
Right. Can't buy them in Cook County, which
they buy them in Indiana and come here and sell them because they are so readily available in Indiana and Wisconsin and all Iowa, all of the neighboring states. It's a business.
Yep.
Well, doesn't it bother you, though, that all these people get killed in Chicago and they don't look at that as a massacre?
No.
It bothers me that all the people get killed in Chicago. And here in my community and in the other communities, they don't look at it as enough's enough.
Yeah.
People will shoot and kill according to their proximity. And the same can be said for white folks. The same can be said for any other race, nationality. Give it a name.
You're right.
It's here, too. There's areas you don't go into. There's an area by Crenshaw. It's called the Jungle. You do not walk in there. You don't live there. Stay out of there.
I go in there.
Well, you're an idiot.
That I might be. I don't go in there at night. But
you don't dare go in there at night.
I pick up people in the jungle.
They'd have to meet me outside of there.
Wait a minute, Carol. What? Are you saying that Lee is a moron?
No, I didn't say that.
She called me an idiot.
My friend drove in there one night. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" She said, "Why, I went through." I said, "Yeah, we don't need to. You better turn this around fast." It's like, you're not going to drive into Watts in the middle of the night.
I do.
You're not going to drive into a lot of places because you might be in the wrong color car.
Yeah.
You might be where they're having, because when they do drive-bys, they don't care who they shoot when another gang comes in.
That's true.
So there's areas. I've lived here so long, I know better.
Well, see, when I go into the hood, places like you just described, well, some of them are red zones, some of them are blue zones. See, I have a shirt that's half red and half blue, so
well,
I'm cool.
You better take that damn shirt off.
And
they don't care how old you are.
And the top of his Uber says, "I'm Lee Michaels, bitch."
That's right. I know people in low places like you, so leave me alone, damn it.
You know what, Lee? We missed National Taco Day yesterday. There were tacos everywhere for 50 cents.
Really?
Yeah. Taco Bell was doing something where you got, I think, 5 tacos for $5.
Is that right? 5 for $1.
We always do Taco Day, you guys.
Yeah.
I do it. He eats enchiladas.
That's right. I'm not big on the tacos. I'll eat them, but, I'd much rather have
I just had to change
2 or
the
3
subject for a minute.
chicken enchiladas with, what's the mole sauce on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some rice and beans. And some salad. Yeah, I'm good.
See, I made chicken mole for tacos and ended up, nobody came by. I think the little girl that lives with me, she ate about 6 of them.
You ever heard of a freezer?
I froze them.
All right, now. We have a call on the line.
What kind of sauce they got? Mole?
Mole. When I do mine, I get the base, and then I add cocoa to it, and I add a little brown sugar.
All right, we're going to go to the phone. Who would they have on the line? Nobody. They hung up. Okay. That must have been one of those telemarketing folks, and they heard this conversation and said, "Oh, no, I'm not going
Mole.
You know what I was going to say, too, before we go back to Trump? Being Native American, I always hear people arguing about, why don't they speak English? Well, a lot of Native American kids only speak Native American. Their language.
That's
and
fine.
A few of our kids have been kicked out of schools because they don't speak English. But what bothers me is that's your true language to this country. It's the Native American language. Yeah. So what gives them the right to kick these kids out? And this is a big fight going on right now. Is a lot of our kids are being, they should have had to learn English because most of the kids I know from the reservation, they speak both.
Mm-hmm.
But it just gets me angry when they don't really think back. This isn't the English language.
They don't care.
It was Spanish before it was ever English.
They don't care. They're the majority. They do what they want to do.
They're not the majority any longer, but we don't have the weapons.
That's why there's so many crazy white people, because they're losing that strength and being the majority of the population. And they know that in the next 15 years, or 20 at the most, they are going to be classified as a minority because the Asian Rim is coming in here by boatloads. Why do you think they're doing a big deal about immigration? They're making the Mexicans and people from the Central America region as the example, but those are not really the people that they're concerned about. But they're not going to say it because there's so much money coming from the Asian Rim. In Las Vegas, a significant portion of the land and buildings are owned by Chinese. And many major metropolitan areas are coming into that same light. Why? Because they have the ability to come in and buy our land and property.
Well, you want to hear something funny? They own the Capitol Record building.
See?
They own that building.
Yeah. Most of the
How
hotels.
they got it, I don't know, but they own it because they wanted to make condos out of it, but that wasn't allowed. But they own the Capitol Record building.
And that's a famous landmark here in Los Angeles. You've seen it in movies. You've seen it in TV shows. It's the round building with the big pointed thing up on the top of it. What is that, on Vine?
I think think it's Vine. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I was there
Vine.
enough. I should know.
Vine,
It's
near
in all
Hollywood
the
and
movies
Vine.
when they have earthquakes and that.
Yeah, exactly. Chris, are you back?
Let's see. How about now? How's this?
You know what? I'm beginning to believe a little bit of it might be on your end. Because Alfo's coming in pretty good.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
yesterday, I don't
checked
know
on
if
my
I...
end. Let me...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm just saying real quick. When we try to Skype?
Let me see if I can do... Can I do Skype on that machine?
I hear him good, though.
Yeah, right now it's okay, but it's intermittent. Let's give it a try.
Okay.
Alfo dropped out, but it even when you're in here by yourself, it gets wacky. Alfo's back now.
Okay.
You know, yesterday, Chris, I sent Lee something that I thought kind of cheered people up. At Southwest Airlines, I think when they asked a question, they were told they had to sing. Remember I sent you a video? You had to watch this guy. He cheered out everybody up that was sitting there.
Yeah, he was in the waiting area, the boarding area, and was he an employee?
No, they told any passenger that came up to ask a question, they had to sing, and they handed them the microphone. You had to see this
He
guy
got down.
singing.
He was singing "No Diggity."
And then he got everybody in the airport started.
They're singing
so I
along
think
with
that
him.
was kind of nice because it cheered people up.
Yeah, let me see if I can
that's
pull that
cool.
up. See, you sent it to me on Facebook.
Yeah,
and
it's
kind of
really a
difficult
great video to watch.
to use
because
Facebook video.
there's been so much going on, you know, with our dumbass president, if that's what you call him. And then this new thing with people all being killed and that this was kind of something that cheered people up. I think it was Southwest Airlines that was doing this.
Yeah, it was definitely. They do stuff like that.
It was hilarious because it wasn't on the plane they were doing it. It was out in the ticket area.
Yeah, in the waiting area, the boarding area, it's called. Yeah.
And this guy just really got into it.
He was getting down.
Yeah,
like
but
Billy
did you
Brown.
hear all the people sitting there when they all started singing
Yeah,
too?
they were singing "No Diggity." I'm gonna try to pull that up. So
Yeah, it's a great video. Because sometimes you get, it's just too much lately. It's so depressing. You get worried when your kids want to go to a concert now. I get nervous when I walk in Costco's now.
Well, yeah, I can understand.
Because there's no security. Anybody could walk in with something. And at certain times of the day, it's so packed in there. It's ridiculous.
Well, don't
Just
give them no
sing to 'em.
ideas.
Huh?
Just sing to them. They'll quit shooting.
They might, if I was to sing.
Just sing to them, Carol. They'll quit shooting, okay?
Right.
I don't know anymore. Reading about this guy and how he hit those propane or whatever that was, thank God those bullets couldn't penetrate it.
Right.
Because it
No,
would have
they had
been
holes
even
in 'em.
worse. You
They
seen
had
that?
holes in them. Yeah.
No,
they
it said it wouldn't penetrate all the way, so that's why they didn't blow up.
Okay, well, the article I read said they had holes in them.
Yeah, but it said they wouldn't go all the way through. Otherwise, they would have blew up.
Okay, I should have read further.
They said it would have been a worse massacre because he hit those before he hit anything, from what I understood.
Yeah, it's this guy was wacky. He was way out there.
Oh, he might have got away with it could he ignited those tanks.
Yep.
Then the explosion would have panicked everybody, and he could have shot at Rent.
That's right.
And throw a silencer on it too. Yeah.
Well, they want to make silencers legal.
Yep.